Yeah, rap. But the irony of the Young Thug, rants about Kendrick Lamar doing features and things like that is that the Great Rap Shinobi Wars popped off with like that, a record from, two Atlanta acts featuring Kendrick Lamar, in which he used that to launch, the sort of, second level aggression against J. Cole and Drake, right? And, on Not Like Us, in the third verse, Kendrick has said, yo, you run to Atlanta when you need to check balance. And I remember vividly making a video on that. And I was like, hey, guys, everybody goes to Atlanta. Let's not internalize this last year, right? Because I get it's a battle. But I was like, come on. Kendrick is working with Atlanta artists. Drake get to it, and the audience was like, no, no, no. And I was like, oh, and this is exactly why the audience says no. It's not that I think y'all niggas is right. It's just that I'm like, I see the play. Or maybe y'all are right, which is all of that happens. This Atlanta conversations and feature conversation, culture, vulture, all this stuff. And then there's a tape of a dude clearly, essentially vouching that you are selective about how you move with your work and who you work with. I heard some people saying, oh, well, maybe Kendrick, I think Thugger Daily said this, that Kendrick had agreed to do it, but then saw that business had too many features and decided not to. And the audience is going to interpret that as like, okay, so buddy, he's selecting, as Atlanta guys say. Buddy, he's selecting. And these are the little things. It's like, it's not that I'm trying to tell people that, oh, one person's holier than thou than the other. Is I'm trying to tell people, you gotta see all these moves. This shit is like Game of Thrones. You gotta see how all these things impact people subconsciously. So when they start saying things and you like trying to wonder why they're saying what they're saying, it's the little things like this, right? Kendrick been worked with it. That's the funny thing about the Young Thug tape. He's worked, especially Future. What is it about Future? These guys love Future. He worked with Future. Same Drake's worked with Future on shit. Kendrick worked with Future on what's that Masked Off remix? He worked with him on King's Dead. You know what I mean? Like, so for whatever reason, it's some strategy at play on how people are choosing to do whatever they want to do. Now, and in addition, I should mention that what's so funny, and it's like no matter how devious or strategic you think your favorite artists are, you got to think about stuff like this, right? We're doing breakdowns of what Young Thug said, this, that, and the third. Kendrick can say a word. The only thing you get is from the music, and I think there's something to that people have to realize. No matter how devious your favorite artist is and stuff like that, and whatever you think is going on, and this, that, and the third, right? Like for example, you got Drake's Iceman episode 3 is coming up. I hope that doesn't clash with football. If not, I'll have to watch a restream. He sat down with Bobby, and you got the litigation stuff that I've contended. I've been saying this story. I think some of y'all you're taking some of that stuff and using this propaganda, right? And then you got Young Thug on this stuff, and Thug is doing this, and they got more interviews about Gunna, blah blah blah, and Atlanta's and chaos, and you just look at, I don't know, the ability of Kendrick just be like, yeah, this is a song. They're using the songs as like reference points, right? It reminds me a lot of Steph Curry, right? Where coming off screens, right? Boom, big time 3-point shot. Whole crowd goes crazy. Might not say much in the media. It's tough, but not say much in the media. And you got other players, right? They expose, they're everywhere, a lot of exposure in the media. You got players that take 30 shots. You got players on Instagram that, some girl. It's kind of like that. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting here. But anyway, I just thought I should point this out because I didn't point this out in my last video.